Yeah, I would be a lot more concerned about the fact that I'm a T-Mobile customer who probably had my data stolen, except that Experian already breached that years ago and got my information out
I
there.
think
So
I think just about every American has already been breached just by existing here.
I know, right?
Five times.
I'd be more concerned if that company and that company hadn't already sent out all my data to
Through
the
no
dark
fault
web.
of their own, mind you.
Right.
Yeah.
But the question is, does the fault lie in collecting all that data and not keeping it secure enough? And I would say there's potentially some fault there.
Here's the interesting twist on this story. There were also, a few weeks prior, also T-Mobile, 40 million or so former and potential customers were affected by a previous T-Mobile attack. So even if you were a customer or you displayed a little bit of interest in T-Mobile and you're in their system in some fashion, just because you're not a paying customer at that time and the attack happened at this day and time,
Right.
and you're still in their system just as a potential customer or as a previous customer, because I'm a previous customer of T-Mobile too. So I might be in that 40 million.
That wouldn't surprise me. It's interesting, and I know a lot of companies give you the option if you reach out to them directly and say, "Hey, I'm a former customer of yours. Please lose my information." They have to, but how many companies would you have to go around and do that to? Because everybody you sign up for anything with collects a little bit of data on you.
If anybody's listening that wants to start a business, you can actually start a business of asking, subscribing to maybe some sort of service that actually goes around and makes sure that all of your information is deleted from all these big major companies.
That would be a fantastic
I
business
would
opportunity.
subscribe
Yeah.
to that.
Oh, same.
The information that was compromised, first names, last names, driver's license information, date of birth, and social security numbers. That makes you feel all nice and warm and fuzzy inside. But this is one more reason why we should be very, very good with recycling our passwords on a regular basis and taking advantage of two-factor authentication in a lot of the applications where that is available. Facebook is testing virtual workrooms. So they have this new service that is called Horizon Workrooms. If you go to the Facebook website and look at their latest information, it's kind of like a cartoon. So you give yourself an avatar, which is basically just a cartoon imagery of yourself. You get to pick what kind of hair, what you look like. If you're ugly, you can make yourself good looking there, or vice versa.
No, that service would work amazingly for me then.
That's another service that we do.
Hey, why not?
And basically, you establish an identity on here. Now, you're looking through these Oculus this eye viewer headset, and when you look left, the screen turns left and right. It's virtual reality, and you're in this office with other avatars. Like one could be your boss, your coworkers. You can put things up on a meeting screen. You can share things. You actually have what's called like a ghost computer in front of you. You could actually see your own hands in the system, and you could actually start typing out things with virtual hands on a virtual keyboard.
That's super cool.
And I was thinking, it was really cool because now you can turn around and accuse somebody. It used to be like, because if you're in Zoom and you want to turn to somebody and accuse them of something or point to them like he did it or she didn't do it, now you can go back to doing just that in these rooms. You could actually point to somebody and everybody will see who you're pointing to because they can see your hands on this deal.
Unfortunately, the most important office accusation doesn't work in a virtual environment. You ate the last donut in the break room. Oh, wait, we're all at home.
So that's the Horizon. That is the Horizon Workroom. It's beta testing through Facebook. We're gonna put a link on there for that for anyone that is interested in maybe taking a look at that. It is in the beta test right now. Before we do have a caller, but before we get to that caller, we're going to go on a break. And when we come back, we're going to answer some questions. Back to basics with improving your Wi-Fi connection. We'll get back to that right after the break.
Out of prison, my own brother picks me up in a police car. Jake, I got it at auction for next to nothing. Perfect. Jake, there's hope. It's Perfection Auto Works.
Hey, the band's back together.
We're on a mission from God. Mike is a Cop Motor, a 440 cubic inch plant. It has Cop tires, Cop suspension, and Cop shocks. It's a model made before catalytic converters. Can you fix it?
Hey, no problem. Just give me the keys.
Fix a cigarette lighter.
All fixed. Go get him, guys.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Blues Brothers.
We want to give a shout out to Perfection Auto Works. Without them, we wouldn't be here tonight.
Hey, thanks, guys. Don't get the blues when it comes to auto repair. No matter what mission you're on, Perfection Auto Works is going to get you there. 323-8650 and perfectionautoworks.com.
Ugly Goose Car Rental is new in Tucson, providing a low-cost auto rental alternative for just $100 per week. The only catch? The cars are ugly, but very safe and reliable to get you to work, school, shopping, and all your important appointments. To reserve your $100 a week car rental, call Ugly Goose Car Rental at 520-261-0439. Again, 520-261-0439.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for scam awareness, blockchain science, and cutting-edge technology talk. I'm Aaron Moss, your host, along with David, co-hosting today from the Unscrewed Theater. Before we get into our next segment, we have a caller on line one, our good friend Charles. How are you, Charles?
Better for talking to you. Hey, I got a question.
Sure.
Why would anyone in their right mind give the correct information to anyone outside a government agency? Why would anyone in their right mind give their correct information, be it Social Security, be it even maybe their name? I mean, I use, for different domains of things, I use the names of different former dogs. And if my golden retriever gets something in the mail or a solicitation, I know what the pathway was that sold the data.
There's...
May he rest in peace.
That's kind of funny. It would be of great value to have disposable Social Security numbers or disposable identities that could be used. Just like you had said. But the reality is, people share their information because they feel like they have to. The way it's presented is as if they don't have a choice. If they don't provide it, they don't get the service.
Right. Well, they can provide it, but no one ever asks to see the card. So what number you give them, especially if you rattle it off, let me give you a fast mnemonic. If you take your social and increase it by one digit all the way across the number, you'll easily remember the number you used so that for verification purposes, you'll know what number to say. But at the same time, they will not have that information, and if your data is hacked, they hack the wrong data.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, that won't work in all cases because financial institutions, they will be checking. They will be checking it against the public record, the background checks and histories.
And furthermore, you can't do anything. You can't do that and defraud somebody. That's illegal. But if you're not defrauding somebody and you're paying for the service that you're getting, and you have no intent to commit fraud, your intent is only to protect your identity. Again, why would anyone in their right mind give the right number?
I guess they would have to not be in their right mind.
Right.
I guess. Okay. Have a nice day, guys.
All right. Thanks, Charles. Before we get into our next segment, David, what can you tell us about the Unscrewed Theater?
Oh, man. Well, we are in our big live reopening month. We've got audiences in the theater. We're following a lot of safety protocols, of course. Everybody is masked. All of our theater staff and actors are vaccinated. But yeah, we've got live shows. You can come in and see them. Right, we've got one tonight that's going to be delightful. I'm in it. I mean, I may be a little biased, but it's going to be awesome. But please, yeah, go to unscrewedtheater.org and check out all we've got coming up. We're adding a lot of new shows, new events, and this month we've got a lot of cool guest stars. And yeah. And I know you were one of our guest stars, and that was a fantastic show.
Fantastic. And yep, the video is out there circulating, so we'll see how famous I get. We'll see. Also, here's an interesting announcement. I saw it earlier today, and that is that Facebook is going to be building an $800 million data center up in Mesa.
Oh, wow.
So this is another reason why Arizona is going to be kind of like the tech center, the future tech universe center of everything technology. So if you're looking for a career in the technology space, you might want to start looking at Arizona as a place to move to.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Here are some tech and science anniversaries. The first commercial telegram was sent around the world by the New York Times 110 years ago. On August 20th.
I believe it was New Phone, Who Dis?
Can you hear me now? Right? But guess how long it took to circle the world? So what they did was they used about 16 exchanges, using 16 operators around the world. And it took them about 16 and a half minutes for that message to circle the world.
That is incredible at the
time. And that was 1911. So
yeah.
that was very interesting. And so, you know, we've come so far and so fast. And it's interesting that technology was available 110 years ago, where you can get a message literally across the world in less than 20 minutes. You know, and now we're about that.
Now if it takes more than 5 seconds, we're going, come on.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting fed up, and I think now it takes about 20 minutes to send a message to Mars. I think in 110 years we've made the bounds of circling the world to like all the way to Mars. We've got that now down to.
Soon you'll be getting cars going. Your Mars rover's warranty's expired.
That's right, and you have to pay for that. Also, a very sad note here. 2006, 15 years ago, Pluto was demoted.
That's right.
Pluto was demoted August 24th, 2006, 15 years ago.
It's okay, though. I hear nobody on Pluto's hurt, so they're fine.
So now that brings our count down to 8 planets, because when I was in school it was 9 planets. Mm-hmm. Now we're down to 8. There's talk of some mysterious planet out there, but it is still 8. We are 8 planets, people.
That's right.
People ask you how many planets are there in the solar system. The answer is 8. Let's make sure that we all get that together. In this next portion, this is kind of like our back to basics series. So I thought we would talk a little bit about extending your Wi-Fi at home. This is a very common question that we get, into the show and in general. You have a house and you have Wi-Fi in the house, and the Wi-Fi router is in one location of the house, but then you have these different dead spots, and out in the garage, out in the backyard, front yard, and you want to expand your coverage. So there are actually several ways that this can be done, but we just want to cover the basics first.
Right.
And that is the placement of your already existing router. Okay, sometimes people don't like all these wires like around, or because routers are nothing but wire. There's all these connections on it. Okay, you got a power, you have all these leads that are coming into it. A lot of people don't like the way that it looks, so what they'll do is they'll stuff it in the closet or shove it in a drawer or put it underneath.
Best place to put it is in the basement under a pile of boxes and other metal objects, right?
And then you're expecting wonderful reception. Yeah. So the idea is to think in height. You want to put the router higher up. So if you have like a tall shelf or tall anything, put it on the high shelf, run the wires all the way up there. You may have to run extension cords for power and everything, but high up. And the reason why is because that way the signal doesn't have to travel through furniture. It doesn't have to travel through people. It doesn't have to travel through stuff that is on the floor of your house.
Exactly.
If it's up high, it's only traveling through walls.
And a lot of them even have mounting brackets to where you can, screw them onto the ceiling
There you
or
go.
whatever you like there.
Now, here are some of the gadgets that are out there that can also help with this. So there are these things called Wi-Fi extenders. So with Wi-Fi extenders, I don't recommend like if you were to go onto Google right now and Google Wi-Fi extenders, you would have a series of products. Some of them would have what's called power line adapters, where it'll run the signal through the power cables of your house and then out through the other one. Those are okay, but the ones that pick up the signal and then rebroadcast it, so it picks up Wi-Fi and then rebroadcasts Wi-Fi, those seem to just not work.
Not well, at least, ever. Yeah.
I've seen cases where they work good for maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of days, but then they go back to not giving very, very good signal. So stay away from Wi-Fi extenders. Some of the interesting things that you might want to consider if you're trying to widen the coverage area of your Wi-Fi at home is here are the two that I recommend. Mesh Wi-Fi. These are devices where it's using the same concept of Wi-Fi extenders, but there's more of them, way much more of them, and it's what large offices, big airports, hotels use. And basically, instead of moving when you're traveling through a large location, it'll pick up the next node, so to speak.
And more importantly, they're all meant to work together, as opposed to when you just go buy a Wi-Fi extender of whatever brand that your router may or may not want to talk to well.
Right. And also the other helpful tools, power line adapters, those are good. So also, I just want to mention real quick with the time that we have left, MUMIMO. Write that down. MU-MIMO. Make sure that you see that listed on any of these devices that you get, because it allows things to go through a lot faster.
Right.
Before we wrap up, I just want to thank our sponsor, Perfection Auto Works, and take advantage of their free point inspection. Tune into next week as we discuss what the Computer Doctor of Tucson is now available to do nationwide when it comes to hardware support. My name is Aaron Moss, your host, technology expert. David is co-hosting today. Tom Fairbanks is at the control board. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show with new episodes every Saturday. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.